Salute, brethren, and God bless. This your boy, Gimro Kioske, aka the Precocious Neophyte, aka the Last Chanchon, aka the lineage of Victor Vaughn, aka I'm gonna make up a whole bunch of stupid names that no one ever really called me in order to sound cool. But yo, welcome to my channel, Legion of Knicks. Some of you guys might know me from Simeon Russell's channel, Nothing But Knicks. Great channel, great platform. Go over there, subscribe, watch great content that he has on there. Almost a live episode every other night. Salute to Sim. Great channel, great platform. He's had a hand in helping me build my own platform. On this channel, we'll be breaking down prospects, game film, free agents, individual player comparisons, discussions, coaching style of play, everything that has to do with the intricacies and nuances of the game. This is an open forum, and I would like viewers to chime in with opinions and perspectives. So if there's anything regarding topics or even things that have to do with the site itself, let me know, as I want to provide Knicks fans and all NBA fans a place to discuss and break down film and talk about anything that's on their mind regarding the Knicks or any other NBA team. I'm trying to expand the channel, and I think that you guys will have a hand in how we expand as a channel. Today's show will be an all-going program called The Good, The Bad, and The Knicks. This will be a game film study where we break down several positives, negatives, and certain Knicksian aspects of a given game. I like to look at what the coaches were thinking about when they match up against certain teams, what they're thinking about when they're trying to run certain sets through certain players, defensive alignments, philosophies on the court, things that have to do with some of the complexities or things that the numbers really can't speak to, the context of the game. As you all know, we suck. As Knicks fans, we've been sucking for a while. It hurts you and me. My only hope is that my son, RJ Barrett, and Mitch, and maybe Frank and Trier, even though they don't love him for some reason, but that someday these dudes could come through. But in all seriousness, I want to have this program to add proper context to the stat lines that we see each night. Whether it's the coaching, the players, the game styles, whatever it may be that leads to the wins and the losses, I want to break it down. So if it's Julius Randle driving like a Brahma Bull to the cup and looking off my son RJ, if it's Frank Ntilikina, lacking in confidence and not penetrating into the paint to facilitate, those are things I want to kind of look at. In this video, we'll be looking at the Knicks versus the Blazers on the 1st of January 2020. Remember, the Knicks played the Blazers on December 10th, 2019, where they got blown out by white-hot Dame Lillard, who scored 31 points on 8 three-pointers, with 25 of those points being scored in the first half. As you can see here, it didn't matter where Dame was on the court. Top of the key, wing, he was just spraying shots from all over, deep from three. Coming from curls, this guy was unstoppable. Defense right in his face. There's really nothing the Knicks could do. You just won one of these unconscious Dame time runs that we've seen time and time again. And guys, all these highlights I'm showing you, these were only in the first quarter. Yeah, guys like Anthony Simmons, who was drafted 24th overall in 2018, and even had to spend time in the G League, going 4 for 7 from 3 for 16 points total for the night. Hassan Whiteside, who averages 13.1 points and 10.9 rebounds for his career against the Knicks, pressuring us for 7 for 11 shooting with 17 points for the night. And even Melo contributed, going 5 for 13 from the field for 16 points. New York's prodigal son return. I'm just joking. Let's stop acting like this dude is Patrick Ewing or something. Back to Mike Miller. Up to this point, Mike went 5-6 within his first 11 games. And the first game of the new year was against these very same Blazers. So this is kind of like a litmus test of sorts. How was Mike Miller going to rebound and adjust to a Blazers team that has a dangerous backcourt that could kill the Knicks from deep, a talented but mercurial center in Hassan Whiteside who's bullied us before, and a Melo who will probably want to get revenge in front of his so-called home team to show us what we're missing? What we're really missing was Donnie Walsh, who's trying to build that year before everything was taken down for Melo. Shout out to the short-lived but effective Felton Stoudemire pick and roll. But I digress. Let's just get to the positives. So the first positive I want to start off with was a play by Mitchell Robinson. Now, it's not the most glorious, it's not the most dynamic, but when I look at certain players, I like it when you start to see little changes, right? Little nuances that develop into instincts for the players, and positive instincts, obviously, in this case. But in this play, and I'll let it rewind, you can see Mitchell Robinson asserting himself against Carmelo Anthony for the rebound. And one of the knocks that was on Mitchell Robinson stemming from last year, especially before DeAndre Jordan came, was his inconsistency in asserting himself down low with regards to rebounds, right? Sometimes you'd see him make the emphatic effort to push a guy out, to properly box out and get the rebound. Sometimes you just see him kind of lose focus, and not necessarily in a bad way, but kind of get swept up into play outside of where he is. And once the ball came to him around to his area, sometimes he's getting boxed out, sometimes he's getting pushed around. He didn't use his leverage properly, and that resulted in him not be able to make a rebound or make a play on the ball. And in this case, as you can see, Marcus Morris driving down to the basket. You see Mitchell Robinson asserting himself early against Carmelo Anthony, box him out, push him out the way a little bit, asserting himself down low. And by the time the ball goes up, Tolliver, who's facing him, really has no way to get the ball unless it pops out kind of like a hard rebound or a shot that bounces off the rim to his side. Tyler really gives no fight because by that time, Mitch Robinson has so much leverage on the inside. It's kind of fruitless. You probably just end up drawing a foul. But one of the things that I liked about Mitchell Robinson in this play is it kind of shows you the development that came from DeAndre Jordan. Now I have a little chart that I'm going to show, and it's a fairly ugly chart, but forgive me for this. It's my first video. But it's a chart that kind of shows the impact. I guess you can say some of the correlation, right? Correlation is not causation, but you can say that Mitchell Robinson kind of improved once DeAndre Jordan came in. Just from my eyes, outside of the numbers, it looked like it, right? So when you saw DeAndre Jordan come to the Knicks, you saw him play, obviously Mitchell Robinson and him had to share time, but Mitchell Robinson made certain improvements that it seemed that DeAndre Jordan had to have an impact, right? You saw Mitchell Robinson fouling less, jumping in the air off of fakes a lot less, keeping his man in front of him, using his hips more versus jumping off the ball, your feet, which gives you a lot less leverage once guys make those little twitchy moves like the up and unders and the fakes. And it just seemed to me that Mitchell Robinson gained not just instinct or not just a better honing or a better control of his ability to defend his player, but also more confidence on defensive end. That's where we saw some of those monster dunks because it seemed like the guy on the offensive end kind of realized, all right, this kid is kind of changing, he's morphing into a better defender. So they couldn't really get him with as many juke moves and things of that nature, kind of threw him off. And obviously DeAndre Jordan's not here, and I think that Mitchell Robinson in some little ways has regressed in some of those regards. But it was just impressive to me to see this play. And obviously it's, Nurkic is not in the game. Hassan Whiteside, I believe, was sitting at this time. Yeah, he's not in the game right now. And you're playing against Carmelo Anthony and Tolliver down low in this play. And those guys, you wouldn't call them, necessarily the great rebounders. But, sometimes games can get away when you don't make those heady plays, even against weaker units. Weaker units within this context, right? Sometimes when you don't assert yourself down low, when you're not properly boxing out, guys can go on certain runs. You can get in foul trouble just because of the lack of proper positioning, and leverage leaves you apt to maybe flail your arms, throw your body around in bad ways. And Carmelo Anthony, obviously this is offensive rebound for the Knicks, but say it was on the other end and Carmelo Anthony was trying to get the offensive rebound. Carmelo Anthony, even though he doesn't have the speed anymore, he still has that Carmelo Anthony head nod, head shake where he could catch off the fake. And Mitchell Robinson, many times against many other guys, has fallen for that head fake. But you're just happy that in this case, you see Mitchell Robinson assert himself down low against Carmelo Anthony to get that rebound and make sure, look, we're only up by 3 or up by 1 at this point. The big men aren't in. Let's make sure this game doesn't kind of get away from us. Let's make sure the second unit doesn't beat us off the glass. And I thought that this was really impressive by Mitchell Robinson. So I created a little table to provide some validation to what I saw regarding Mitchell Robinson's improved gameplay from last year and even going to this year once DeAndre Jordan joined the team. DeAndre Jordan got traded, I believe, late January 2019, and I believe he played his first game sometime in either early or mid-March. And obviously, there's a huge discrepancy with regard to the number of games that were played before DeAndre Jordan came and after he came into the team. But I felt that there was a marked improvement in Mitchell Robinson's game. Some nuances that I saw that kind of proved or at least showed to me that he improved since DeAndre Jordan joined the team. You saw Mitchell Robinson not going for the up and unders and the fakes as much. You saw him being a lot more patient in regards to when he jumped to block up or defend a shot. He kept his feet on the ground, played more on the back of his heels instead of playing on his toes. wasn't going for the up and unders and the fake shots and whatnot, things that we saw him get terribly duped on, or at least fooled on in the past. I don't know what his fouls were, but it seemed that he was fouling a lot less, or a lot less ticky tack fouls, a lot less stupid fouls. That he was getting himself into trouble just because of bad positioning as he was guarding his guy. And so if you look at some of the stats here, I put rebounds, contested, uncontested. I put the defensive field goal percentage versus the opponent field goal percentage, which is basically what was the percentage of a certain player, or basically the opposition when one guy was guarding versus his average field goal percentage. And you can see some improvements, right? So offensive rebounds kind of stay flat if you're comparing pre and post DJ, but defensive rebounds went up. Contested offensive rebounds improved slightly. Same thing with contested defensive rebounds. So I just want to go over a play by my son Frank Ntilikina and the Knicks. I'm not just calling Frank Ntilikina and saying he's the sole reason for this play, but this is a really nice weave play that ended up in the hands of Portis, who knocks down the three, as we can all see. Just to break down, I'm going to keep rewinding, so I apologize for the clicks and the quality of the video is not too good. But as you see from here, Frank gets it to Knox. Knox gets to Bullock. Bullock gets trapped up top, passes to open Frank, then gets it to Portis. Now, this was a really nice play. Quick decision making. You find the open guy, you trust him to hit the shot. Nothing more, nothing less. We don't need the Julius Randles doing this Brahma Bowl, trying to overthink the pass. I mean, I've seen, at times Julius Randle take the ball, see the double team, and then make the most oddest play. I seen him one time. He had the ball in the corner, saw the double team coming, could have easily made the pass right back out to the guy on the wing, or near the wing, near the elbow, near the wing, something like that. And he literally just took it back on the baseline. His double team, he had no space on the baseline, and then try to make this cross country play over to the guy on the other corner, the other side. And it's like, dogs, what are you doing? Like, who taught you basketball, bro? Like, come on, son. But anyway, back to this play. I just love this play because, again, quick decision making off the weave. You get it to the guy Portis, who's a consummate three-point shooter. So obviously, let me break it down here. See Frank call out the play. Bullock comes over from the left to the right, pass to Knox. Bullock is coming around, and you see these guys in man. Tolliver tries to get back. Carmelo Anthony can't close in on Portis. Beautiful. And so I'm just going to slow it down and break it play by play. I'm not going to harp on too long. But obviously, you see Frank call out the play. Bullock coming around. He takes the other side, gets it to Knox. And here you can see that the Blazers were, I guess, I want to say more in like a stay with your man kind of man press, right? I don't think it was, one of their fake zones. But it seemed to be that they weren't really switching with the guys, off their man. And so let me just back it up here a little bit. As you can see, Bullock gets trapped in a double team, doesn't have space. Now here he has a lane to Mitch. Now I always wonder with this play if the initial desire was to get to Mitch, and then Mitch passed it to Knox. Knox had a terrible game again this game. He shot 2 for 6 for 5 points, 1 for 4 from 3, which is pretty terrible. This is a guy that getting, trying to build up his confidence and all that. To me, the easy way to build up his confidence is take a page from Kentucky, play more off ball, make him center of the offense. He's not a dribble guy. He's a guy who comes around screens and curls and can hit the open shot. But that's for another day. But here you obviously see Bullock again trapped up team. Now Tolliver tries to race back, and I guess you could put the blame on the Blazers for not recognizing that quick enough. That if Tolliver's trying to get back to Mitchell Robinson, old man Carmelo Anthony gets back to Portis. But old man Carmelo Anthony, see how he has his hands out, like the type of, anywho, I don't know what defense that is, but some Fred Sanford type of defense, just hands out. It's like, I don't want to choke on about. It's like, come on, man, what is this? Anyway, you see Tolliver try to get back. And Tolliver's stuck. Now, once Tolliver's here, Carmelo Anthony should have made the beeline to Portis. But you know what I realized with some of these guys who, they really don't want to play defense, right? They don't want to get beat. They want to get beat off the dribble or, end up slipping or, cracking their hips or whatever. I'm just joking on hip stuff. But a lot of times they like feign like, oh yeah, yo, I was coming back to get the center guy, yo, because it's kind of confusing. It's like dogs. If I see, first of all, you should know in practice. All right, when we see somebody come up top, I like to peek to help. I like to peek the double team. I'm not going to stand the double team, right? I like to peek to help. Knowing you like to do that, let me get back to the guy that I was kind of sagging off. Uh, uh, coming off of the guy I was, he's trying to basically help defend Mitch. And now I don't know if you knew if Simmons was there, but it seems to me Simmons has it right because obviously Simmons coming up, even though Simmons is, way shorter than Mitch, but he made the right decision coming up because again, that pass to Knox is too tough, right? So I'm pretty sure this is, I don't know if it's a man or like a smudge of man zone or whatever, but I guess you could say he did the right decision because that pass to Knox would have been ubo tough and Knox was just not having a good game. So it's like, I want to see you kill me, Knox. I want to first of all see you make that cross country pass and then you kill me, which is tough. So Simmons made the right play. Carmelo Anthony should have gotten back to his guy, which he didn't. Get stuck out. It's like, come on, dogs. What are you doing? What are you doing? So it's like, to me, man, this is a great play by the Knicks. I loved it. Quick passing, the weave up top, get the defense kind of off balance. It's just beautiful. I just love quick decisions by the Knicks. And to me, just to wax poetic a little bit, to me, this is how one of my philosophies in building a team. You give them a definite style of play. Or excuse me, not definite, a defined style of play. Get people in proper position, proper spacing. That's a Budholzer concept, spacing. Proper spacing, when to move, when to set the picks, when to come around screens, who to pass it to, at what point. You give them the blueprint. You can simplify it for them as to be, not running an elevator play with like the Golden State Warriors did, but you run sets and then you say, all right, now we can assess if Portis doesn't hit the shot. Say Portis is a 30% shooter, we got to go into the draft and draft somebody. We got to go and get the proper free agent. We got to go and get a guy off make the proper trade because we know that this guy can hit the three from the corner. We know this guy can, get the ball on the wing and hit the shot or drive from the wing. We know this guy can pass well out of double teams. We know this guy, whatever your offensive philosophy, whatever your sets are, give the blueprint for your guys so then you can properly build for the future. That's how the best teams improve. That's how they get better and better. They set the blueprint for the guys. And then when certain guys don't work out, they replace them with better guys that fit that philosophy. It's not that hard. I just don't understand why the Knicks haven't been trying to do this for years. But again, Steve Mills, whatever. But again, here, I just like the fact that the ball got to Portis quickly from Frank Ntilikina. Really smart play by Bullock as well, too. He's a consummate professional. Smart guy. He could be a role player if you want to call him that, but he made the right decision. Didn't try too much like Randall. See him make that pass. Frank, who's a 32% shooter, I believe, made the quick pass to Portis. Damian Lillard played off of him. And I guess you could put a lot of the defensive onus on Carmelo Anthony. But again, the Knicks, I don't know if they ran this play. I don't know if Frank ran this play purposely because he knew that these guys would get confused or whatnot. But, I don't want to call it just luck that they knew Carmelo Anthony was in. He's such a poor defender. But, hey, maybe they ran that play initially maybe they ran that play with initial intent to get the ball open to Portis, knowing that Carmelo Anthony does a poor job closing out and just a poor job defending, period. So, excellent play by the Knicks. And if Portis don't hit that shot, like my dude, like my son, Marshawn Lynch says, look, these young Sahabs got to take care of the mentals and the chickens. And if Portis can't hit that shot, he's not taking care of his chickens. So, to me, Portis hit the shot. The Knicks made all the right plays in the sequence. It was beautiful. I love it. Great play by the Knicks. Passing play initiated by Frank, driving to the basket, gets to Portis, gets to Morris, gets to Randall, who drives from the corner. Really excellent play by the Knicks. Obviously, the Blazers are kind of giving up at this point, even though they still have some of their main starters in. But again, we've seen leads blown in similar situations. So again, let's start with Frank. Frank's driving down. Dame Lillard's not really paying attention. Bad defensive position by Dame Lillard. Doesn't get his feet set, doesn't get his hip set. Really bad. Now he's skating. Good recognition by Frank to drive to the place where he's weak. And again, with me, Frank Ntilikina just needs confidence. Got to get his confidence up, tell him to be more aggressive, get him to be more aggressive, pull more plays for him to be more aggressive, and give him the minutes. Don't take him out for, little mistakes here and here. Give him confidence. He's still relatively young. give him confidence. I can see him easily be on the Mavericks or the San Antonio Spurs or the Toronto Raptors, and they'll use his defense, his size, and they'll put him in the proper position to excel. Again, this is a guy shooting 82% from the free throw line. Obviously, his three-point percentage, I think, is around low 30s. But again, high free throw percentage means he can shoot. To me, he just has to unlock it somehow, and the Knicks have to find a way. So back to the play. See, you got Damian Lillard. Hassan Whiteside's up in the air, jumping, just caught. Obviously, he's here to provide weak side defense. Here's where the play breaks down. I forgot what this guy's name is. It's to do with the Nigerian fade over here. And I'm Nigerian, by the way, but you got the Nigerian fade buzz cut. Bazemore. I think that's his name, Bazemore. Bazemore is coming in to recover on Portis. Carmelo Anthony, this guy, this overrated superstar, he needs Chauncey Billups to teach him how to play defense, again, since he needs a point guard to, make him great or whatever. All the excuses for Carmelo Anthony. Great talent, but just overrated. But anyway, back to the play. You see him. Now you see Frank recognize the weak side coming. Pass it to Portis. Bazemore tries to close out. Does it? Carmelo Anthony stuck in no man's land. He should have been here 10 years ago. He's stuck in Uzbekistan. Morris could have shot the shot. And this is what I love about Morris. To me, Morris reminds me of Dark Knight. He's a hero Gotham deserves, but not the one it needs right now. So we'll trade him. We'll trade him to the Clippers. But I mean, look, to me, Morris is old school. I wish he was here a few years ago. Maybe he comes back as a role player for these guys, especially if you get a young guy like LaMelo Ball, and you have two young guys like him and RJ, and also other guys like Midge, Frank, even Dotson, even though he's like 26 or something like that. But you get him back here, would not mind at all. He passes him to Randall. That pass from Morris, very underrated because it shows that, look, he could have shot the shot, but he's playing within the system. He's playing within the system. Does he do it all the time? No. He's had a lot of games where, he thought he was Mitch Richmond, do the little turnaround jumpers and all that. And look, he was shooting 47% from the three at one point with the Knicks. And he was one of our better offensive, especially in the mid-range players. The Knicks don't have many of them, but hey, I give a lot of credit to Morris. Tip my hat off to him. Salute to him. And now he passed it to Randall. Randall got him. Drive to the basket. Easy. Oh, it's beautiful. Look at Frank clapping. He's like, yes. I love when we play to a plan. Because he's a guy who came from the international game. I love when we play to a plan. One more time. Show it. Got Dame Lillard. He's done. The same with Frank. This is what I love about Chris Paul. Chris Paul may no longer be the most athletic guard in the game. Guy still has quick twitch. One thing he does is that he thinks. Once he catches his defender off guard or off balance, once he knows that your defensive setting is not good, let's go back to this. Look at Dame Lillard's defensive setting. On his toes. When somebody's on his toes, they're twitchy. And once they make the wrong move, they're done. Gotta play on your hips, baby boy. Gotta play on your heels, baby boy. Shift them heels, baby boy. But he didn't. And Dame Lillard's my dude too, but look at that. Got him. Get your chickens, young Sahab. That was a beautiful play by the Knicks. Just want to show some passing stats for 2019-2020 to provide a comparison between Fizdale and Mike Miller. Fizdale started on October 23rd, 2019 in the 2019 season, went 6-20, got fired. Mike Miller came in, went 3-4 in his first 7 games, up until the Blazers game that we're now analyzing on the 1st of January 2020. And as you can see, despite the small sample size, and even without these stats, you felt that the offense under Mike Miller was a lot more fluid, a lot more passing, a lot more continuity. It felt better. It felt more cohesive, lack of a better term. And as you can see, look at some of these stats. Points per game at 100.5, ranked 30th for Fizdale. Mike Miller, 108.8, 17th. Assist, 19.8, 30th rank. Mike Miller's 18th at 23.2. And I'm going to read some of the top teams that rank in some of these stats. So for 2019-2020 season, teams that ranked the top in stat and assist, Phoenix Suns at 27.1. Next is New Orleans Pelicans at 27. Memphis Grizzlies at 27. Denver Nuggets 26.5. Philadelphia 76 at 25.9. Milwaukee Bucks 25.9, Miami Heat 25.9, Indiana Pacers 25.9, Los Angeles Lakers 25.9, Golden State Warriors 25.6, Toronto Raptors 25.3. So some of the most successful teams in this league, they pass the damn ball. They execute. They push passing as a concept to build off of. And when you look at teams like the Phoenix Suns, they're on the up and up. Monty Williams came in, Rubio came in, they looked a lot better. Booker looked a lot more effective as a chess piece you could put all over the place. I remember he came in and killed us from the mid-range in the second half of the game. Pick and roll, deadly pick and roll. Then Aubrey destroyed us from deep. But that team predicated their offense on passing. Passing. Secondary assist. The pass that goes to the guy who makes the assist. Fizdale, ranked 28th at 2.1. Mike Miller, not so much better at 2.4, which ranked 25th. Top teams in rank in secondary assists: Toronto Raptors, New Orleans Pelicans, Philadelphia 76ers, Memphis Grizzlies, Golden State Warriors, Oklahoma City Thunder, Milwaukee Bucks, Dallas Mavericks, Brooklyn Nets. And we look at all those teams, even for the teams that weren't winning or didn't have a record over 500, teams like the Brooklyn Nets or the Warriors, those teams took their concepts of passing from previous winning teams. Brooklyn Nets went to playoffs the year before. That was an effective team. D'Angelo Russell, LeVert, got guys like Joe Harris, Dinwiddie, a lot more effective in that offense. They look at guys like the Golden State Warriors, KD, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. I've said, you already know how successful they were. Then you look at potential assists for the Knicks. The potential assist is a situation where a ball handler makes a play to a player who takes a field goal attempt within the determined amount of time. Fizdale ranked 26 at 41.4. Mike Miller ranked 14th at 46.2. So even if we didn't have the horses to execute at the basket, that potential assist should at least tell you if his team is passing enough or not. And if the guy's not executing at the point of attack or execution to hit that shot, then that's when you go out and you get better players who can better execute. That gives you a roadmap. That gives you the blueprint as to who to get, who to draft. And when you don't generate those potential assists, Fizdale, if you don't have an offense that can generate those easy passes or generate the passes for, I want to say easy, but doable points. Easier field goal percentages. Run the pick and roll, create space. Have guys run around curls to get those open shots. If he was doing things within the system to get guys open, to get guys easier buckets, those potential assists would have been up, and they weren't. Assisted points created, you can see 30th, 52. Mike Miller, 19th at 59.9. Assisted pass ratio, Fizdale, dead last. Dead last. That offense was trash under Fizdale. Mike Miller, 20th. It's not the greatest, but compared to Fizdale, night and day. Night and day. So here's some stats just to kind of validate Mike Miller's effectiveness relative to Fizdale. So here are the three negatives I'm going to show for the Knicks-Blazers game, and they all revolve around Carmelo Anthony and his prowess in executing the poster play against the Knicks. And the reason why I call them negatives is because the Knicks did a really poor job of adapting, despite the fact that they all saw and knew that Carmelo Anthony was heating up from that area and from the post-up period. And they did a really poor job of adapting to it, to getting the double teams, to switching the right man onto him. Really poor job by the Knicks. Now, Carmelo Anthony went 11 for 17 for 26 points from the field, 3 for 5 from the three-point line, 1 for 2 from the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 1 turnover, 4 personal fouls. Dame Lillard, on the other hand, went 5 for 20 for 11 points, 1 for 8 from the three-point line, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, 1 steal, 2 turnovers, 1 personal foul. So this was not the Dame Lillard that we played in late 2019. And that's going to come into play as I go over these clips just to show why I thought the Knicks did a really poor job of adapting. Now, this is the first play. Obviously, you see Dame Lillard taking up the ball. Is Elfrid Payton. Here, you see Elfrid Payton do a poor job of getting over Carmelo Anthony. And it seemed like from the get-go, they were, because Dame Lillard didn't try to beat Randall off the dribble or anything like that. You knew the play was basically Carmelo Anthony to post up against him. And I thought at this point, let me just rewind a little bit. Though at this point, you see Payton do a really poor job of getting over the Carmelo Anthony pick. And this wasn't even really a good pick. It's almost, you can almost call this, I won't say foul, but look at the balance. I mean, he's almost pushing him out. Got to get around that. I wish, Randall would have peaked, help, and then maybe have Peyton come back, go over that, because again, unless Carmelo is going to cut to the basket, you have Mitch down here. I mean, Hassan Whiteside's there too. I doubt that Dame is going to make that thread pass to him if they did the switch, just because this guy would have come over the top, Randall would have been coming under. So it's really hard for him to get that pass to get to the basket. So I thought he really did a poor job of switching here. Obviously, you see him kind of dominate, look like a travel. Tough shot still because Mr. Robinson came to help, but it all was activated with the domination on the post-up play by Carmelo Anthony on Elfrid Payton. And this is the second one, Bazemore. Again, you see Carmelo trying to post. I don't know why. Well, this is Knox. Knox's mental is just kind of off at times. But in this play, you're talking about 6'8" Knox versus a 6'5" Dotson. And Knox should have done the job, especially with Bazemore coming back out. He should have just came right back on Carmelo Anthony. Told Dotson, yo, go get him. Go back out and get Bazemore. Poor job by the Knicks, poor communication. Carmelo sees it. Triple threat. Even though he missed a shot, he could have also called for a foul if it was a ticky-tack foul if he wanted to. But again, I mean, yes, he did miss the shot, but that's more so than just Carmelo Anthony just missed that shot. Everything else was perfect for Carmelo Anthony. Good play by the Blazers. Terrible adapting by the Knicks. Terrible communication. Heads in the clouds type of play by the Knicks. See here, another switch. Now, Frank, it's my dude. That's my son, but come on. Now, Randall almost gets a steal. At this point, I would have just had Randall double-team Carmelo Anthony. He's the hot hand. Force this guy. Again, 5 for 20 from the field. 1 for 8 from 3. He was not looking to score in this sequence. Didn't seem like it. He knew he was off. Some players, look, some of the best players have it. Just off. It ain't working tonight. And Bullock already came to help. So he would have had that. Now, you see Simmons. Simmons would have been the guy to cut, but Morris is here, right? So Carmelo would have to make a fake pass with Simmons cutting, Morris cheats, and then pass to McCollum, which even in that in itself is still a tough pass, a cross-country pass. But again, it seemed like that everybody else would have made the proper shift. I would have just had Randall, and this is on Randall, I guess, to just basically double team. And even if you could double team, have Frank run back on a Dame, could have double team and just stayed there, try to steal the ball, force Carmelo Anthony make a tough pass. But again, just poor awareness by the Knicks. And this is still good defense by Frank. Frank is a good defender, don't get me wrong. But I'd rather, and even in this situation, I'd rather have Randall guarding a guy who can kind of go power for power with toe for toe in regards to the power department versus Frank, who is a lanky defender, good defender. But Carmelo Anthony was hot. He was hot. Carmelo Anthony is one of those guys who get white hot from the field. One of those. He has one of those superpowers, kind of like Jordan, Kobe. Not saying he's those guys. Don't kill me for this, but he has one of these innate abilities to just go white hot at times. White, streaky, but white hot. So these are the 3 negatives I just want to show the Knicks. All 3 of the same plays. I thought the Knicks did a really poor job of adapting. So this segment will be called the Knicksian segment of the show. Obviously, the name is mad corny, and I'll probably change in the future. But for right now, let's just go with the Knicksian segment. And in this segment, I'll be providing something or giving some insight into certain looks or sets that are either positive or negative, but something that's overall dynamic. Now, whether it be going over a certain play or a certain style of play that might speak to a certain trend that I've seen in the past few games, maybe how the Knicks adapt to how the opposition is playing them. It might be a new implementation of a new offensive set, defensive philosophy on the court, maybe something that a new coach is utilizing to showcase or utilize the ability of one player that might be coming to some type of success for the team. But overall, it'll be something where I'll be breaking down something rather dynamic and worthwhile to analyze. And in this show, I'll be breaking down a play that the Blazers have used against the Knicks. And it's called the thumb fist action, or more specifically with the play I'm going to be breaking down for this specific game will be the fist motion flare. Now, from what I've seen from the thumb fist action, or at least the fist motion flare, it's predicated on a lot of movement with the wings or the shooters on the team, where they kind of flare out to the sides. And on one part, they utilize the big man to kind of help create the pick that sets out one of the flares, and also gives the ball handler the opportunity to use the pick to get to the basket, is essentially to kind of neutralize weak side help. And so Terry Side is going to break it down. This segment comes from ecoach.com or ecoachbasketball.com. They also have a YouTube page, really cool. Go check it out. They have some other coaches who provide breakdowns of their offensive sets as well. And then after this, I'm going to show some examples of the Blazers utilizing this against other opponents. And that information or that data or that video is going to come from a YouTuber named Zach Bolsvert. Go check him out. He also has some other diagrams breaking down how the thumb fist action works. And he also has basically all the plays that are born from that thumb fist action. So it's just not the fist motion flare that he breaks down. But he breaks down basically everything, all the branches that come from that one stump or foundation called the thumb fist action.
Hi, this is Terry Stotts with NBA Coaches and eCoach. Right now we're going to work on getting a pick and roll ball screen out of our thumb action. It's going to start the same way that we started our other thumb action. We get a wide pin down. We're going to get a catch by our wing. We get the hand back here. On this, you're still turning out. What we want is, as this player is coming off this screen, his man is in a help position. Now, as he goes by you going into a ball screen, and you're coming off it with a live dribble. All right, let's go through that. Got a wide pin, hand back, good flare screen, ball screen, come off it. Good, good. We'll talk about spacing, but you need to get up. I don't mind you going to the corner, but you got to pull up a little bit. All right? So this is the way we can get Damian Lillard a ball screen. He has a live dribble, and we get CJ, our wings, moving without the ball. Now we got a player like CJ McCollum, a wing, who we want to get involved in the ball screen. So we'll run the same thing. Go ahead. We got a wide pin down. We get the catch. Set a good flare here to occupy the defender, and now run into a ball screen here so there's no help. Good. All right, let's do that one more time. Good. Flare. Ball screen. Space on the weak side. Good. Good. So that was our thumb fist action. It's a way of getting some movement into ball screens. It can get our point guard involved in the ball screen like Damian Lillard, or if we want to get CJ McCollum off a wing, get some movement into pick and rolls and have the bigs where they can't just sit on help side defense on the pick and roll.
So here's several examples of the Blazers running the fist motion flare against some other teams, obviously not the Knicks. But here I just want to show some examples of them playing it. And this comes from the YouTuber named Zach Bolsvert. Zach Bolsvert is the YouTube page. Go check it out. He has some really cool diagrams that break down the plays. And he also has a longer YouTube video that actually shows a bunch of plays born from the thumb fist set, which is essentially like the foundation or the root to all these plays, right? And one of these plays or branches, you could say, is a fist motion flare. And it's really cool how a lot of plays can be born from just this one look. And so I'm just going to run the video really quickly, about 3 plays. And I'm just going to give it a little context back and forth and just point out a few little plays here and there. Pass back to the wing. Dame Lillard flares out, comes mid-range, nice look. Missed the shot, but again, really good look. Now you're going to wait for the wing on the right. Going to wait for Dame Lillard to flare out behind the big man. Hits the 3, big 3. Nice shot. Dame Lillard is going to pass back to the wing. It's going to flare out to the right, but interesting enough, McCollum comes down, hits that big shot. So this is the first fist motion flare play that I saw the Blazers utilize against the Knicks. You see Damian Lillard take it up. I'm going to play back and narrate a little bit as we go along. You see initial pick. You see Bazemore be the first guy who's going to flare out around Hassan Whiteside. And at the same time, you see McCollum come up and force himself to the other side to create the other flare. McCollum gets it up top. When I say other flare, he just came up because he didn't flare all the way out, strictly to that wing. But he came out to be the new ball handler to allow Dame Lillard to flare out behind Hassan Whiteside. Boom. What a pass. Lord Jesus. So we can just play that again. You see Alfred Payne's on him. Alfred Payne's kind of... And this is where he kind of gets... yeah, I'm not trying to overanalyze what Alfred Payne did, but once he comes around this side, you got to be a little bit cognizant that something might be happening. There must be another guy around because they're not going to just leave the whole top clean where you don't expect someone to set the pick, and that's where you see what happens. You see McCollum get the ball back, or get the ball, excuse me, and Dame Lillard about to set that flare. By the time Alfred Payne realized what's happening, too late. You know, in my rudimentary playing style, I would have tried to close it off even up top there. You know, cut off Dame Lillard's left. You know, force him. So that would have meant that, you know, you force him back to his right. That would be the only place you allow him to go back freely since you see McCollum up there. And that would mean realizing that somebody's trying to set me a pick. So I'll be over that pick even before it's even set. I already know it's coming. But at this time, Alfred's kind of stuck. And Mitch Robinson kind of gets stuck on the play. Look at that. Paying way too much attention. Mitch Robinson is paying way too much attention to what's happening with Alfred Payne and Hassan Whiteside up top. And a little bit too much attention in the fact that he's not realizing that, all right, I see Alfred Payne's probably most likely not going to be able to catch up to Dame at this point. And I know Hassan Whiteside's not a three-point shooter, so I could give him that space. I could cheat a little bit. And even here, I mean, Mitch Robinson almost gets the ball. So it wasn't as if it was the worst defense of all time, but better positioning and understanding who you're playing would have allowed him, look, that's not Joel Embiid who can hit that three. This is Hassan Whiteside who's definitely not looking to hit that three. So he could have played off him a little bit and helped Pete against Dame Lillard. But he doesn't. Dame Lillard gets a ball. Beautiful layup. Just one more time, just so everyone gets it. You see how fluid this beautiful fist motion play is. First, does it happen? Get McCollum, flare out. Boom. Done. Done. Beautiful play by Blazers. So here's a second example of the fist motion flare that was used by the Blazers against the Knicks. And here you see Payne is on Dame. You see McCollum come out. I believe that's Tolliver. That sets that initial pick. Doesn't really do much, but look at this. Batter's already lagging. Gets it back, gets to the wing. Who's McCollum? McCollum passes back to Dame. And then look where McCollum goes. This is beautiful, man. Goodness gracious. Look at this. Bad defense by RJ. If you see a guy in perpetual motion, you got to keep running with him. You can't go back into lower, defensive stance mode. Because look at this. It's almost as if he thinks that McCollum is going to get the ball back and take it from here. I mean, the lack of spacing should have told you. And the perpetual run should have told you. Or look at his position. It's not like he stopped here and it's like, all right, now I can square up. You got to realize something is happening. This guy is running. He's moving. Your eyes need to be in this area to make sure there's not a pick that's going to throw you off. And if these guys are watching proper film, you got to tell him, hey, once you see this guy, once you see this big man setting this pick, and you know McCollum's a capable shooter, got to help me out on that. Got to help me out on that. Even though RJ Barrett, who's my son, that's my dude, that's my guy, but this was bad by him. You kind of, it's like you stop. It's like a weird stop. You should have just kept. Your eyes should have been here to focus on him, because it's not like you switch with Dame and now it's Alpha Payne. Now you gotta keep going with McCollum. McCollum gets it out on the flare, hits that shot. Look at him. Look at this. Where you going? From Brooklyn to Beirut. You can't get there in time. Forget about it. Got him. Got him. Beautiful play by the Blazers. So here's a third example of the Blazers running the fist motion flare against the Knicks. Now, they did run it 2 other times against the Knicks, and obviously I showed you that. And they could have been run the thumb fist set throughout the game and even after these plays. And I do have another play where I think they were running the thumb fist against the Knicks, and I kind of confused with the flare, but it was something else, and I got to do my proper research. And I'll show you that. It's like a bonus, I guess, part of the Knicksian segment. But this third example kind of showed the Knicks being able to adapt and properly defend the fist motion flare, and I was really impressed by it. So I don't know if it was a coach, I don't know if it was instinct by the players, I don't know if it was command by the players, but it was pretty effective in quelling the flare portion of the play, and it ultimately resulted in a missed field goal from the mid range. So I'll show right now It's really impressive by the Knicks. I really like this play. So you see Bazemore, first flare doesn't work, pass out to the wing Simmons, Dame Lillard, and you see that, right? Bam. You saw that, right? Look at this. Look at this. Look how beautiful. So I'm going to just break it down. First flare, first cheap flare. I kind of think, I don't say it's a decoy, but it's like, they really ain't paying attention. You know, we'll catch them. And you see Simmons run. So even let's pay attention to this. Let's see where Simmons starts out. Simmons starts out the bottom with Dotson. It's almost like a bunch of wheels. Like you see like those cartoons or like those, I don't know, weird videos where they show like the mechanism of all these little like anchors and stuff moving around and like in different placements, and it all basically connects to some overall machine or whatever. That's how you see it. It's like proper movement, spacing, and timing. That's beautiful. I wish the Knicks could incorporate more of this into the game. But yeah, this was beautiful. You see Simmons come up. The first flare didn't work. Dame Lillard pass back to the waits for Simmons, pass back to the wing, and now he moves. Boom. But that flare, look where Mitch Robinson's face is. Look where his face is. This is beautiful. He sees it. He's like, all right, I know what's happening. They've been running this play a few times. Hassan Whiteside, I know he ain't shooting up from out here. So I got to make sure, boom. This guy cuts it trying to get the cheap flare, and he's putting a lot of energy into flaring out. So boom, cut that. Look at Mitch Robinson. He said, "Nah, I got you, bro. Don't worry, I got you. That's another son of mine, man. Mitch Rob, boom, catches him. All you gotta say is Mitch Robinson. Just gotta make sure Hassan Whiteside, because look, you got all blue here. Make sure he doesn't crash to the basket at this rebound, because look, it misses. But I mean, he did close out on. Can't see who that is. Number 8. Who's that? Close out. I don't know who that is, but he did close out on him. Even though it's kind of weird that that's the guy who closed out, because that wasn't the original man. But you know what I liked about the instinct? Even when he gets a rebound, it's like, let me close out on the nearest guy I see. So the other Knicks got to help out. That's good by Mitch. But again, I just want to show this part, the Knicksian part. Boom. First cheat flare. Dame Lillard. You ain't doing that flare crap on me again, bro. Simmons like, I don't got it. Damn. Get to the Bazemore. Bazemore shoots the shot. Doesn't go in. Good look, though, still by Bazemore. Just doesn't go in. Good play by the Knicks. So, yeah, this was a Knicksian segment of the game. I was really impressed by how the Knicks adapted to the play. Again, they could have been running the thumb fist set a lot. And I think I'm going to show you one more example where, I guess is a bonus example of where I need to also identify what it is exactly. Because they had success on it, but it didn't seem exactly like a flare. But it was interesting nonetheless. I will show that next. So here's the bonus play, Dame Lillard, and what seems to be the thumb fist motion. So you see the first flare comes out. So I guess it's still running the fist motion flare. That's not where they get the success from. And it seemed like Dame had a space to pass this because Morris is kind of behind Whiteside. So he had space to pass it. But again, if you this is all the thumb fist motion, the handoff. So yeah, if you go back to the E-Coach basketball video segment I show, yes, you see this where you get the first flare, the big man gets it back to the ball handler, Dame Lillard. Well, he doesn't, fakes it, gets it back to the Bazemore wing. Bazemore cuts, layup success. So that was, I mean, I got to look up exactly. Maybe I could go back to Zach Bolsvert's video and get the exact branch of the thumb fist motion. But here again, you see Dame Lillard dribble. Seems going to be a handoff. My bad about that. Gets to the Bazemore. Oh, my bad. Gets to the Bazemore. Bazemore drives. Mitch Robinson is kind of scared, trying to hedge because he has to make sure that Hassan White doesn't get the easy basket. Gets a layup. Just one more time. Dame Lillard dribbles. Hassan Whiteside fakes. Hands off to Bazemore. Nice cut to the basket. Nice move by both those guys. The basket. But it didn't seem to me that they ran to success the fist motion flare a lot more during the game. That's when they kind of went to Carmelo Anthony around this time where they kept feeding him. At least after the third example I showed with the fist motion flare. It seems like after that or around that time is they kind of started going to Carmelo Anthony, started feeding him the ball in the post, which had some success, but ultimately, hey, the Knicks, they won. They pulled one out against the Blazers.